every epsilon positive, I will find a delta positive, such as or such that 0. Continue, I just don't have enough room. And now please tell me what I should write here. Of course, it has to be x. It has to be minus. But what is our a in this problem?
3.
Of course. Excellent. So I wrote for every epsilon positive, I will find a delta, a corresponding delta positive, such that every time I pick x close to a, so that the distance is less than delta. Oh, please put the inequality symbol, I'm sorry, less than delta. This will imply, what do we write here? So dictate what I should write. What is our function in our problem?
One plus 1/3 x.
And then minus. What is the limit in our problem?
2.
That's it. So we filled in the definition. Starting point here. This is our starting point. We have to simplify first. So 1/3 x minus 1. So 1/3 x minus 1 in absolute value less than epsilon. Can anyone give us not the absolute value, the least common denominator?
Wait, sorry, why did we get rid of the -2?
1 minus 2, -1.
Sorry.
No worries. So what is the least common denominator?
3.
What do we need to multiply the top of this by?
3.
Good. What do we have in the numerator?
3x.
But do I have
Or
to?
just
Do I have 3x?
x minus 3.
Very good. Do we agree with x minus 3? Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. The next step, remember, this is a tricky function. So the absolute value of a over b can be written as the absolute value of a over the absolute value of b. This is a property of the absolute value. Also, the absolute value of ab is the same with the absolute value of a times the absolute value of b. I have to show that in the next step. I have to write x minus 3 in absolute value over the absolute value of 3 less than epsilon. You cannot multiply, distribute, do anything here. Please follow from this step to this step. Now we know what the absolute value of 3 is. How much is the absolute value of 3?
3.
Good. And now here is my target. This is my target. Of course, I don't care about this part. This is my target. I'm solving for x minus 3 in absolute value. So what should I do to solve this inequality for x minus 3 in absolute value?
Multiply by 3.
That's it. Now compare these two, this to this, and tell me how much is delta.
Oh, it's 3.
It has to depend on epsilon, always. It's not just 3. I cannot pick an... Exactly. So Say it again.
I got a little lost. How come the 3 on the bottom disappeared?
We multiply both sides by 3. When I multiply this side by 3, I get x minus 3. When I multiply this side by 3, I get 3
Okay.
epsilon. So there is one step 2. I don't want you to do it, but I want you to write it. Now, so here's why. Because I have to show that this implies this, and this implies that, both sides. So I only want you to write, now show that delta equals 3 epsilon works by reversing the steps from above. Nothing else. You don't have to reverse them. You don't have to do anything. I just want you to write that, knowing and showing that you understand that a symbol like this requires both ways. I have to show that this implies this, and then this implies this. Okay? And there is nothing else we need to do. So we only needed to show or find for any epsilon. So now if you say, oh, if you tell me epsilon is 0.1, okay, I'll say if epsilon is 0.1, the corresponding delta is 0.3. If you say epsilon is 0.01, okay, if epsilon is 0.01, then delta is 0.03. And we can go on forever. And this is true because the limit exists. So I'm stopping here. You're free to go if you want. I just wanted to show a situation like this in which you can say, oh, even here the limit exists. So here's the limit. And I will use this interval. Fine. And I will find this delta. Yes, but the key is this. For every and any, you are using this epsilon to show that the limit exists, but I want this epsilon. And you can no longer show the interval because there is no interval around A anymore. So the limit here does not exist because you cannot show with any epsilon. When the limit exists, I can show with any epsilon, big, small, very tiny. Here you can only show with some of them, not with any. So if you use this interval, you will not be able to show the interval. There is no interval around A.